Good morning. Welcome to the Premium Public Video Forecast discussion for Friday, May 16th, 2025. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Well, we have a lot to talk about. It looks like a stormy weekend's on the way, and Memorial Day may actually be a bit stormy as well. So let's take a look at some of the data as to why I don't think this is a washout for this weekend, and next weekend may be a bit questionable too. But we still have to be on guard. So let's take a look at the 500 millibar pattern here in the forecast. And you can see here plenty of activity, a nice upper level low. Notice it's passing to our north. That's going to be a key factor when we look at the severe threat for today and for tomorrow, because the fact of the matter is that the upper level low is focusing most of the lifting towards New England, not the northern mid-Atlantic. And then as we move on through the week, we get a nice ridge axis, a little unsettled, but nothing too crazy. And then we get to next weekend. And how this upper level low, that is an interaction between a feature in the subtropical jet stream and a feature in the polar jet stream, they interact to form a new upper level low. One could almost call it a phase, but not exactly. In this scenario, the location and strength of the upper level low when it forms at the end of next week will be a key determining factor on how much rainfall we can expect for Friday and Saturday. There has been different depictions of the evolution of this upper level low and how it develops the waves of low pressure to impact the region. Certainly unsettled heading into the Memorial Day weekend, but I'm hesitant to call it a complete washout just yet until we get a little bit more data. The fact that the upper level low passes over us is not a good sign if you have a lot of outdoor plans for next weekend, but definitely just keep it in the back of your mind that you want to have a backup plan for unsettled conditions. At the very least, with almost all guidance suggesting this upper level low will be to the north and east of us by the time we get to Sunday and Monday, would suggest a drier scenario setting up for the second half of the Memorial Day weekend, but certainly not anything that you'd consider warm. This definitely would feature below normal temperatures. So we'll keep an eye on that and see how that plays out. But again, if you have plans for Memorial Day weekend next weekend, have backup plans for more indoor activities and certainly cooler weather. So what about this weekend and today? One of the key factors that I want to point out is that at the surface, we have a lot of low-level moisture and winds coming in from the south and the southeast. Southeast is important because that's transporting maritime air into the region. And so what that means is that you have a more stable environment. We have our warm front to the south that's slowly pushing north, and showers and thunderstorms approaching from the northwest. See, the thing is that while this looks rather robust and impressive as it's diving south, let's put this in motion here and look at how this evolved over the past couple of hours. And you'll see these thunderstorms that are diving south, they're losing a little bit of their punch. It's more heavy rain than actual severe thunderstorms. So impressive heavy rainfall, but not the impressive severe thunderstorm output. Why? Because this is moving into a more stable environment. So as a result, when it pushes towards our region, it starts to weaken. But besides the atmosphere, the stable low-level environment, what else is going to cause this to weaken? Well, let's take a look at some of the latest SPC observations. And you see this at 250 to 300 millibars. This is a ridge axis. So you have your upper level low back here, strong warm air transport, nice divergence and diffluence showing up here, thus the rising motion that would support your thunderstorm complex over the Great Lakes. As it's diving south, is running into this ridge axis. Ridge axis means sinking air. So that's at the upper levels of the atmosphere. Still plenty of moisture to work with that would support the heavy rainfall. But notice we also have a bit of an access to this rainfall. And then we look at the lower levels of the atmosphere, and well, this is a stable environment at the lower levels. What about the mid levels? Let's pull that up. Well, that's a little bit more unstable. So you have an unstable mid levels of the atmosphere, which would support your ascent, your heavy rainfall, your lifting of the precipitable water values. But you have a ridge axis passing overhead, and you have a stable environment. These are two signs of weakening. And when you take a look at the latest QT out of this, when you take a look at the HRR, well, there's our stable environment that will basically kill these thunderstorms. And you see all this dry air? That's from the subsidence of the ridge axis. So these two factors here will cause gradual weakening in terms of severity, but still the potential for some pretty good rainfall as it moves through later on. And you can see on the latest visible satellite picture, and these are lightning strikes. Notice the intensity of lightning strikes are starting to decline and shrink as this is diving towards our neck of the woods. So yeah, it's going to be a bit stormy today, that is for sure. And you can see the colder cloud tops are diving in towards us, but the intensity of the storms will weaken. But what about the upper level low? What does it mean when it's passing to our north? Well, this upper level low, as it's marching towards us, is going to focus a lot of its lifting up here. And as a result, we're going to get this subsidence passing over us. That doesn't reduce the intensity of potential thunderstorms, but certainly reduces the coverage. So you get a real good idea on this on the upper level winds. Again, there's our ridge axis for today. That's going to reduce the intensity of these storms. Then you get your heavy rainfall come through. Then you got your strong warm air transport that could open up the potential for additional showers and thunderstorms. Then you have your upper level low here. And again, most of your divergence and effluence associated with it is going to be moving through the Great Lakes and towards New England. So we see that very nicely here at 500 millibars. Again, where is your strongest lifting tomorrow? It's all focused here. Okay, it's all getting focused this direction. Down here, you get some lifting, some divergence and diffluence to certainly open up the potential for thunderstorms, but you don't get the widespread coverage of it. And because you get more focus of thunderstorms up here, you end up with sinking air up down here in the northern mid-Atlantic because of mesoscale factors. So a couple of things here all juggling together, which is why you never want to make declarative statements about convective systems several days out. That's usually a mistake because you have to take an account of all of the factors kind of interacting with each other. It's never just one factor. So as you can see, the upper level low passes to our north. On Sunday, we remain unstable. A few isolated showers because of cold air aloft, but not a washout. So I wouldn't call this weekend a washout, but certainly stormy. So if you go into, I don't know, a Mets-Yankee game or something of that nature, yeah, definitely go, but have an umbrella handy with you and be prepared just in case a thunderstorm happens to clip the region. And then after that, you can see our 500 millibar heights are rising. And so quiet through the middle of the week. And then unfortunately, as we head towards the end of the week, it gets a little bit more interesting. We'll dive into the details on this as we get closer next week in our video discussions. So at the mid-levels, just want to focus over the next 90 hours. Again, lifting, but it's not organized, right? We really don't see any organized feature until we get to tomorrow evening. But even then, it isn't very strong. Where you see the strongest forcing? Towards New England, not necessarily towards us. And so as a result, you don't get that widespread thunderstorm. You get plenty of moisture. Moisture transport's going to be there. And your precipitable water values are certainly going to be elevated. So anything that does form is going to be capable of producing heavy downpours, possibly some hail mixed in because you got plenty of moisture. And with the high moisture content in the atmosphere, vivid lightning, but just not the coverage. Okay. So there's your instability in the atmosphere. I mean, we could be pushing 2,000 joules per kilogram, which, just so you know, it's a lot of energy in the atmosphere. So again, potential for these thunderstorms to pop, but not everyone will see them. So when you dive in to this mesoscale data here, again, notice the thunderstorms collapse. Same thing showing up on the HRR. It's still heavy rainfall, but the intensity collapses. Then, again, another wave of showers and thunderstorms. Not everyone sees them. And then again, for tomorrow, another wave, but not everyone sees them. But occasionally you're going to get one of these thunderstorms to pop to reach severe levels. Why? Because look where all your focus is. Look where the majority of your thunderstorms are throughout this entire event. Mostly over central New York, New England. Then again, central New York, New England. So what that means is that all your rising motion with those thunderstorms are up here. And so you get substance down here to limit the coverage of the thunderstorms that do develop. So again, I still like the idea that a couple of these thunderstorms are going to be capable of producing heavy downpours, frequent lightning, hail, wind gusts over 55 miles per hour, possibly even an isolated tornado, but just the coverage will not be extensive. And then along the coast, you get more of a stable influence, so the thunderstorms are likely to be less severe and mostly below severe levels. So, walking through this forecast for today, watch out for scattered showers and thunderstorms. Look for temperatures to range from the upper 60s to lower 70s on Long Island. Again, more stable environment. Mid to upper 70s along the coast, upper 70s to lower 80s in the Delaware River Valley, and mid to upper 70s over the interior. For tonight into tomorrow morning, again, watch out for scattered showers and thunderstorms, capable of heavy downpours. Low temperatures range from the upper 50s to lower 60s over the interior and in your suburbs, lower to mid 60s in your urban areas. Tomorrow afternoon, again, scattered showers and thunderstorms, so just be aware, but not a washout. Look for high temperatures range from the mid to upper 70s over the interior, mid to upper 70s along the coast, and lower to mid 80s in the Delaware River Valley. Again, if you get one of these thunderstorms, they're going to have the potential to become severe and become rather intense, but that's going to be few and far between. Now, Saturday night to Sunday, the upper level low lifts north. By Sunday afternoon, it's remained toward north, and it's going to lead to scattered clouds with a few isolated showers. Look for low temperatures in the lower to mid 50s over the northern interior, upper 50s to lower 60s along the coast. High temperatures range from the mid to upper 60s over the northern interior, lower to mid 70s along the coast. On Monday, high pressure will build in with scattered cloud cover. Look for low temperatures in the upper 40s to lower 50s over the northern interior, mid to upper 40s along the coast. High temperatures will range from the mid to upper 60s over the northern interior, lower to mid 70s along the coast. On Tuesday, look for high pressure to slowly give way with increasing cloud cover. Low temperatures will range from the lower to mid 40s over the northern interior, upper 40s to lower 50s along the coast. High temperatures will range from the mid to upper 50s over the northern interior, lower to mid 60s along the coast. A few upper 60s are possible around the Philadelphia metro. On Wednesday, our storm begins to develop. Look for increasing clouds with showers developing, becoming widespread towards evening. Look for low temperatures in the mid to upper 40s over the northern interior, upper 40s to lower 50s along the coast. High temperatures in the lower to mid 50s over the northern interior, mid to upper 50s along the coast. Raw, wet day is on the way by the time we get to Wednesday afternoon. Wednesday night through Thursday, we get an area low pressure passing through with the potential for some heavier downpours, especially in the early morning hours. We get a little bit of a break, but then continued scattered showers around the region. Again, some of this is questionable, especially the separate waves of low pressure and the waviness of all of this and the way that it's just kind of low pressure systems all over the place makes me think that this may not be the most accurate, detailed description of this event, but certainly unsettled conditions on Thursday with periods of showers capable of heavy downpours. I think that's a good in between here. Look for low temperatures in the mid to upper 40s over the northern interior, lower to mid 50s along the coast, high temperatures in the lower to mid 60s. Then on Friday, as we start our Memorial Day weekend, celebrations, variable cloud cover, widely scattered showers. Again, not a washout, but certainly unsettled and cool with low temperatures in the mid to upper 40s over the northern interior, upper 40s to lower 50s along the coast. High temperatures in the mid to upper 50s over the northern interior, upper 50s to lower 60s along the coast, lower to mid 60s in the Delaware River Valley. And just kind of a sneak preview for next weekend. Again, you kind of have this low pressure system hanging around. So this looks to me more like variable cloud cover with pesky showers here and there, but not a complete washout, but certainly unsettled and a bit cool. So be prepared accordingly. For more details on this forecast and also details on our summer forecast, the tropical forecast, and of course the ability to ask questions of me anytime you want, definitely check out the premium consulting membership, only $15 a month. And if you can, please do help share this channel by likes, sharing, and subscribe and hitting that notification bell. In the meantime, stay safe out there.